See, I see stuff like this, and it makes me look at Oklahoma City a little differently. Like, 1 minute, I think they the dogs to beat. Mm-hmm. And the next night, they'll turn around and lose, and I'm like, you can take them. You can take them. And that's what happened last year. You know, they go in to play as the number 1 seed, and Kyrie and Luka give it to them, you know? And I'm like, that's a series you could win, but SGA was the only one that showed up consistently. The other cats did it. And that's the kind of stuff that I look for at this late in the season. Yeah, you got Denver the first night. They came back and get you, but it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you got done. You know, it's like for them to answer the way that they did last night is what gives me cause to pause about OKC.
Yeah, it's they being young, man. You don't understand the severity of each and every game. Like, you gotta, like, if you're trying to make a statement, trying to prove that you one of them teams to beat, you gotta show up again, man. Like, and Denver knew the severity of this, right?
Right.
We're fighting for something. This man's MVP is at stake, so they fighting for him.
Right.
Yeah.
What was Jalen Williams' numbers at half?
Pull it up for you.
Yeah, I think he got, didn't he get hurt last night?
Yeah, he missed the second half.
Yeah. What, 22?
Half with the hip strain.
Yeah, 22 and a half?
Let me pull it up for you.
That's crazy.
Wi-Fi little
Yeah,
janky.
no,
Stephen
I'm
A.
saying the game before when we was on our way back, right? From, so we always watching the game on our phone. We was coming back from San Diego, Dog Bowl. And we always like, man, this man really out here hunting shots, man.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like, I understand he averaged 32, Shai, but it looked bad the other day.
Jalen Williams had 12 and 6 in that
The first game,
half.
Sunday.
Okay.
12 and 6.
Sunday.
12 and 6. Missed the
Sunday's game. Shot the ball, what, 33,
32 times.
33
15
times,
for 32
right?
from the field.
Right.
In the foot, he got more like them makes. He made what, 4 late?
Yep. No, maybe
Like
5.
4, he made
Maybe
like
5.
5 straight.
5 late,
five straight.
right?
At the
Trying to
end.
get
And
me
so
back.
the 40, we all like, yeah, but this is like, when you look at it, it's like, dude,
But
we get it,
let's
man.
analyze.
Do you see
Like, we
do
get
that,
it.
though?
Compared to last
But
night.
then,
Compared to
but then
last
they
night.
adjusted, and you didn't take that.
But was it an adjustment, or was it
little bit.
Shai trying to dial back what he said initially is, I shot the ball too many times. It's exactly what we seen immediately. We on the bus, we like, come on, man. And then you can see the 40 and the 8 in a win feels good to the team. But it don't feel good to him. For some reason, I took too many shots.
Can I throw this at all of y'all?
That's a good thing.
I look at Jalen. He the key.
Yeah.
See, I'm not worried about Shai.
Yeah.
He's shown me he gonna show up. To me, Oklahoma, you know, I was debating with some cats about this. I don't know whether it was Big Perk or somebody else, but it was like, they were like, Chet Holmgren's the key. I'm like, yeah, but I expect him to do what he does. I expect Hartenstein to do what he does. Jalen to me is the key, because if you got somebody other than Shai that you can say, here's the ball, take us there. Now they could go to the finals, but without that, I don't think so.
He's too young. He's too young to be putting that much pressure on him right now.
Even as a secondary option?
Right now. Because what they've done is, OKC, if they depended on SGA so much to the point where a 25-point game is not nearly enough to beat Joker and them after a 40-point game. 14 shots ain't nearly enough than the 32 that you just took. So you took a major step back in both production and, I'm not gonna say direct leadership, but what we're looking for us to come back in the fourth, and we just lost the secondary option, you can't, 14's not enough. Now we need you to hunt shots.
But what I'm asking is, when you say it's too much, as a secondary option?
Yes.
No.
It's too much as
to
a
depend on him to carry the load. If he's not having a good game, it's his first year as an All-Star. He hasn't really shown that he can handle a load. He can't handle the pressure of, I gotta be the guy.
But I'm not.
I disagree with that. Yeah, he got to. Nah, you're All-Star now, brother.
Was he supposed to be an All-Star?
Yes, absolutely, Jalen.
Well, then they can't win.
Right.
Huh?
They can't win then.
Yeah.
Because if Murray is a second option,
And
we
you know what he gonna do. You know what he gonna do when it
LeBron is the second option to the Lakers.
Right.
comparable.
Come on, man.
You're
Yeah,
talking about
that's what I'm
Jaylen Brown
saying.
or Tatum.
Yeah.
You're talking about Dame. So the fact that these are second options, if you can't rely on him to average at least 23 in the playoffs,
Man, easy
you can't
to-
be consistent,
Yeah.
you have no chance.
Yeah.
There's no chance of winning.
Can you ask me
baby.
this? And I ask all of y'all.
You know that shit different in the playoffs.
We're not questioning that he has the talent to do
No.
it, right?
No, we think he can do it.
He can do it. That's where I'm coming from.
maturity-
Experience.
Right.
I'm saying
But-
the experience to handle the moments and the pressures of the 23 you talking about consistently. We need a game 4.
Right.
He ain't show up. We need you to give us
Right.
27 tonight.
Okay.
You can't give us 21.
But do you need that sometimes?
He is not gonna be mentally ready to just
And
dial that in.
And I guess what I'm saying
Be a
is,
focal point on somebody's scouting report.
Boom. Like, yeah, we're gonna
Fair.
double him. We're gonna do this. And
We're gonna
Fair,
play
but what
him
I'm
this
saying-
way.
yeah.
but what I'm saying is, because you lost last year, for that reason.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
reason.
If you ain't been there, I got it. My point is, if you OKC, you can literally look at yourselves and go like this. If I showed up, we in the conference finals last year against Minnesota instead of Dallas. If he showed up, because Shai gave you 2 games. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, I don't need you to be Shai, but if you can give me that bona fide number 2 option on a night in, night out basis in a best of 7, we got the rest of it because Caruso, Hartenstein, with Holmgren has elevated their defense. You know Shai, who was my MVP last year, by the way. I voted for MVP.
He was the Gills Arena MVP as well.
Right. I voted for him for MVP. He's my vote this year. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I can depend on him. It's Jalen that I'm worried about.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So, is Jalen the actual second option, or is he the guy that's getting the leftovers?
That's a legitimate question.
Look at the game and what I'm talking about. Look at the game. SGA, the way he plays.
Right?
I gotta get mine.
Second
I ain't got it. Go.
Second option.
Leftovers. Section.
But
We're
even-
talking about the second option, right? We talk about a guy who comes in and the coach is like, we gotta run shit for him.
You can't get left
Not just
average 20.
like give him the ball and like Derek White is getting leftovers.
what he's saying.
Derek White's getting
That's
leftovers.
leftovers.
What he's saying.
Pritchard's getting leftovers, but they taking advantage of
But
those
when you
leftovers.
say leftovers, are you saying leftovers because schematically that's what ends up happening, or are you saying leftovers
Luka.
because Shai?
Kyrie was getting Luka's
'cause Shai-
leftovers.
But what I'm saying is Shai might be ball hogging a little bit too much. I'm asking because there's a difference.
Because he can't get a rhythm. He can't get a solid rhythm. He can't. If
All right.
Jalen Williams can't get a solid rhythm if he always has the ball doing his thing.
I don't think he needs you right now. He's good.
I didn't even know they were behind me.
Appreciate y'all.
Just in case.
All right, so look, we talked the SGA side, but let's talk a little bit the Joker side. So Nuggets and Thunder in the season with 2-2 series split. After the win, Jokic was asked about the MVP race and gave this quote. He said, "This is my 3rd or 4th year in a row, so I cannot control it. I will say I think I'm playing the best basketball of my life. So if that's enough, that's enough. If not, SGA deserves it. He's really, really amazing."
And y'all said he don't want that. And he also
Even though you said SGA right now is your front runner for MVP.
I don't give a damn what
He
nobody
wants
says.
that.
It's my vote.
But do
He
you
won't
agree that 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic is playing the best basketball of his life?
I've seen him be. I've seen him be great.
This great?
Facts.
Like this?
And don't even say numbers. We're not even gonna talk numbers.
Just
We're
look
not
at
talking
it.
numbers. We're not talking numbers.
Just look at it.
Okay.
Who's stopping that?
Like,
Right
just
now.
look
Fair.
at it.
35, 18, and 8 off of that 30,
Whenever
20,
he
20
wants.
game.
Whenever he wants. Fuck,
Well, the thing-
fuck him. 30, 20, and 20.
The
Fuck 'em.
rebounds aren't phasing me that much.
Of
The
course not.
assists,
It
the
should.
assists do because Cat's missing. They don't have a bunch of snipers on their squad, so those assists are legit. So in that regard, fine. But are we taking defense into consideration too? Because last time I checked, Shakes plays that.
He's second in steals.
Both tied for second in steals.
Come on now. Come on now. I don't want to hear the shit. Because it's up there. And if you want to bring stats to me, you know what I'm going to do.
But-
I ain't
but
want to,
for
don't
some-
make me put this helmet
But
on.
for someone who doesn't look to score to average 30.
Stop saying don't look to score.
He
Please.
don't.
Not to average 30 though. He's not going out there saying I'm
He's not
trying to get 30.
I just told y'all.
Him the other day, he shot 9 threes the other night. We all was like, damn, Nikola,
man,
like
he was
what
1 for 9.
the hell are you doing? Right?
No.
It was out of his
But
he doesn't look to go out there motherfucker for
But
shots.
the comeback would be this. Just because you don't look the part don't mean you ain't.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
What
not
I'm
saying
saying
that.
is, what
Yes,
I'm saying
man.
is,
Yes,
he do shoot enough.
Why
He does. He'll pull up from 3.
Yes.
He'll pull up for perimeter.
When
He
it's
don't care.
necessary.
I'm just saying, but he views him. He's not just the number one option. He views himself as the number one option.
But
So,
why?
because he deserves it. He's worthy of it. I'm just simply saying, because that's the case, look at him. Look at Shai. Look. Denver's climbing. Denver's right there. We get that. What's Oklahoma City record right now?
They 11 games.
They're like
12 games.
They're like 11, 12 games ahead. And Shai averaging 32? I mean, he got numbers that's comparable to the shit Michael Jordan was doing.
Y'all argument is so flawed because
Okay.
if it was about winning, like you just brought it in, we'd be talking about Donovan Mitchell.
He's not averaging 30. If he was averaging
That's
30,
why he got to average 30.
Why he got to average 30?
you can't throw him in. If you
Why?
only-
Why does
We
he
talking
have
about
to
the
average
best
Y'all
player
don't-
on the
if y'all
best
don't throw
team
Jason
in the
Tatum-
league.
if you
Donovan
don't throw
Mitchell ain't
Jason
been
Tatum
mentioned.
in there, you can't
Why
throw
not?
Donovan Mitchell.
Throw him in there as well.
Throw him in there. Throw him in there then.
If
But
it's about winning-
Donovan Mitchell's number one.
But they've been penalizing Jason Tatum for years for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the argument I throw back. Hold on.
His number's not good enough.
I hear you. Here's my
32.
Here's my comeback to refute that. Let's look at Oklahoma City. You just finished bringing up how you can't trust Jalen.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can trust Jalen. We all acknowledge what Jokic got around him. There's an absence of depth, and you don't have shooters, right? What don't Cleveland have this year?
They didn't have a consistent coach. They just got a
No,
new
I'm
coach.
talking about this year. I'm only talking about this
so
year.
they had to keep
Atkinson-
everything new. And DeAndre Hunter
That's right, you
came in.
What,
It's
that-
the only
that
time
line?
they lost to Boston was that game that he didn't get to play during that trade.
Right, they're undefeated with him in the lineup.
How many different 10-game win streaks have Cleveland had?
Boston beat
How
him
many?
by 30.
Yeah,
Yeah,
3 games.
I think this-
3 10-game win
three
They
streaks.
had,
plus 12.
they're on the verge of
Already.
having their second 15-game winning
And we're
streak.
not talking
14.
about a guy who's already in this league
He's in the
for
conversation.
70 points.
He's in this conversation, but you also got to take this into consideration. We look at the East. We respect the Knicks, but we looking at Cleveland and Boston. It's a 2-horse race. In the Western Conference, it's wide open. So they got to take that into consideration as well. That might be a reason why everybody's been mentioning Shai and Jokic, because we can't have Jokic fall into 3. We can't have that. So we know he's cemented at least at number 2,
But why can't
possibly
we put
number
Giannis
1.
up there?
Giannis?
Why is Giannis being...
Because Milwaukee was
Because you
struggling for some-
no Donovan, no Giannis, nobody in the East except for you. Everybody want to mention Tatum, who underneath...
Y'all don't mention
who
Tatum.
underneath those other two,
Tatum
he's
will get low
underperforming.
credit.
He's performing at MVP level, but not like Donovan Mitchell, not like Giannis. Then we got on the other side, Shai and Joker. It's
Top
like the
2.
conversation is flawed because of what side you play on.
So do you believe that it's fair to put Shai and Jokic as 1 and 2 and everybody else in the conversation out of the East?
I would rather say Joker and Giannis have the conversation and Shai and Donovan be in the conversation. Head up, head up.
Can be head up, head
can't
up.
be
One
head
has
up.
3 All-Stars
Yeah.
on one team. Cavs.
They're both number 1.
They have the reason
They're both number 1. So it shouldn't even matter.
it's hard to put one in because he does have 2 extra All-Stars on his team, and then they traded someone that has 18, who's averaging 18 points off the bench. So his team is actually a lot better than people
So
think.
Cleveland has 4 All-Stars?
3 All-Stars.
So they have
But
so what's the name has 2 All-Stars. OKC got 2 All-Stars, right? And Chet.
Both of them got
could've
one new
possibly-
All-Star. Both of them got one new All-Star.
Garland is a better All-Star, a better player than Jalen Williams is.
Okay.
At this moment, you said?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's
therefore,
what Mobley-
Nikola is the MVP.
I mean, in the
Yeah, that's
future,
what I'm
I mean,
saying.
if y'all talking about right
Yeah,
now.
right now,
And then you got Mobley,
If we
right?
talking-
So
if
you
we
got
talking
it
who?
is a better team, so he's doing less, so he gets penalized. We all know that.
Yeah, so Nikola is the only one who
Nikola has no All-Star.
no All-Star.
Has never had an All-Star.
Never had an
And he's been doing his thing. But
and better
But he has
than
a
he
better
has,
team.
What we've been doing.
and
But he has a
better
better
than he
team.
was in them previous years when he won MVP.
But yes, he has a better team than OKC because they're a young team.
Joker-
Murray is better than Jalen Williams. Right, so it's
better
just
player,
unfortunate.
but he's not an all-star.
But he just hasn't made that all-star game.
Yeah.
But he's a better player than what's the name. But he can still say, hey, I don't have an all-star here, and this is what we've been doing.
Absolutely.
Joker
He
on the
has
verge
that.
of being the first big man to average a triple-double, doing it very efficiently. Also on the verge of being the first player in league history to be top 3 in points, rebounds, and assists. If we're talking about an individual accolade award, it's not a team award, right? It's
Well, they just
most valuable
jerked Lamar.
player.
Well, one thing for sure, they
changes.
just jerked Lamar Jackson for MVP as well. So
It's-
if we're talking about history don't matter with this conversation at all. Because what Lamar Jackson just did in the NFL was something we have never seen before.
That's true.
Right? And so they give it to Josh Allen. Granted, he had a great season. Absolutely. Not taking anything away from Josh Allen. So it'll be the same thing in this situation. Nikola is doing something we've never seen before. Because the other, just a basketball player.
You're saying if that's the
a basketball player.
You're saying
I've
if
seen
that's
a
the
triple-double
judge, if that's the
before.
criteria. That's what you're saying.
I
Say it
seen
again
a
now?
triple-double
You're saying is
before.
that if that is the criteria.
What is the?
Because I'm looking at Lamar Jackson, for example. We
Yes.
looked at Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson did shit we never saw before, fair enough.
Yes.
But they came into the season having acquired Derrick Henry, and they were projected to be arguably the favorites outside of Kansas City to get to Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Whereas Josh Allen lost both receivers, Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis.
That's a bullshit
he's-
cop
Why?
out because
Yeah, he's still-
Lamar Jackson didn't go ask for Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So you can't penalize him for being the MVP because he got a good player.
but-
just like
but with-
Saquon Barkley.
but
It's
with-
like
but-
Saquon-
but-
it's like you can't
having
penalize
less,
him.
so if he didn't have him,
Right.
No.
the numbers are still like
It's still Lamar Jackson. It's
But
still
Lamar
Lamar Jackson,
Jackson,
already.
right?
Nobody's
He's won it.
No.
less picks with the major running back through less picks than he have at any time in his
More
career.
touchdowns.
More touchdowns. Rushing yards,
Right.
900 yards
Yeah,
rushing,
they
4,200
kill
yards
Lamar. They kill
passing.
Lamar. They kill.
But to take nothing away from Shai or Nikola, whoever wins it, right? Like I said, if we really concentrate on the history of the game and the thing like not to taint the history of the game and shit like that, then let's be like, we've seen someone average 32 before.
We seen somebody average a triple-double before.
This doesn't look like this.
Because he's big.
So when the guy did average a triple-double, so how many triple-doubles did Russ average?
3.
4. How many MVPs did he
straight.
win?
He won.
One.
So it
became
doesn't
selfish.
matter.
But it became
We
selfish.
seen it, but it became who?
became stat pattern when Russ kept.
Have you ever did it?
I'm saying.
Have you
Russ
ever did
with
it?
Stat pattern.
Have you ever tried to patch your
It's
stats
stat
in every
pattern.
regard?
Now Joker just
Have you
the
ever
best
have you ever tried to patch your stats?
Yep.
Huh? And then how did that shit go for you? And how did that shit work out?
Then,
So therefore, you can say that shit all you want. That shit take effort.
Joker doing more.
It
Fuck
don't-
that.
it don't-
Talking this fucking.
It don't take effort.
Like,
it don't take effort.
it don't
when you
take
playing
effort?
against Gilbert. It don't take effort.
Have you ever
It don't take effort.
averaged 10 rebounds, Nick?
Go Bird.
Huh?
It don't
You ever
take
averaged
effort.
10 rebounds?
When you playing against nobody. Shit, you the best
NBA is
big in
playing
the
Is
against
that where we're
nobody.
going with the conversation?
I'm saying, Shai got to go up
Moving the
against
goalposts.
every.
You're
trying
It's
to-
nothing but
my
great
leg
guards.
is
Your
strong.
goalposts.
My
I'm
leg is
saying it's
strong.
great guards in the NBA.
Great
You can't
guards,
name
yes,
another
absolutely.
great
You
big.
talking about
just made an
basketball players
exception
here.
about Cleveland,
Yeah,
though,
we
right?
talking
I
about
mentioned about
basketball players.
Cleveland. I mentioned
Y'all
Donovan Mitchell. You say he
you
got
criticize
more.
Shai for taking
He
a lot
got
of
more
shots.
all-stars on his
Absolutely.
team.
You gotta do what you gotta
All
do
of
to
a sudden.
win.
This coach
Y'all didn't
put him back in the
criticize
game
him
to
when
score
Kobe did
50.
it.
That shit
Kobe
corny.
did it. Nobody criticized.
His coach put him back in the
He's
game to score
Mamba
50.
mentality when you.
His
when
coach
you
put him
Kobe.
back in the game to score 50. That shit corny.
All right. Now
He
just
go out
said
there
Joker don't
motherfucking
look like
tear his
he's trying
shit
to-
up. Now we have a
Joker
whole
don't look
different
like he's trying
conversation.
to get scored, but he just
Coach
said he
put him
wanna
back
win
in to
MVP.
score 50. That shit's corny.
Crazy.
Hey, he didn't say he wanted to win MVP. He said,
should.
I've won 3 or 4 of these
He's having a great
already.
season.
If
I'm
you
playing
don't
the
give
best
it to me,
basketball of my
I'm
life.
cool. But I think you
I
should
feel like I'm
because
having the best year ever.
Okay, when we have these two type of players that's really making an argument for themselves,
Right.
and you said you already saying Shai, wouldn't that be a closed door on all information that
No.
Jokic would bring in? Like,
with
what-
20 more games left.
That's totally fair. What I'm saying is, if Shai continues on the path that he's on, and Jokic does the same, I'm going with Shai. I don't mean to imply that Shai can fall off the map and what he has done up to this point, it stops. He stinks up the joint the last 20 games of the damn year, but I'm going to vote for him anyway. That's not what we mean when we say something like that.
That's what it sounds like.
I'm sorry.
What the fuck it sounds like to me. No matter what he do for the rest of the way, you already got your mind made up.
Like, you can't tell me
it's tough to have you on the jury then, because if you go on the motherfucking jury, you already got your mind made up.
We got the footage.
Right? We got the footage.
We got the footage.
He did not kill that man.
Check this out.
You go in there motherfucker like, he didn't fucking do it. We saw him shoot.
Guilty.
You brought the beer.
You know you fucked up, right?
If they're guilty as charged, if you go to use his analogy, if you rob a deli, right? If you robbing a deli, somebody say you robbed a fucking deli, and then they got footage of you.
Yeah.
You right? And they show me the footage, and it's you. You got that right. I'm assuming you guilty at that point.
Yeah.
Now I didn't walk into the courtroom thinking you guilty, but once they showed me that shit, we might have 5 days of trial left to go. Don't tell me that somebody's waiting for the next 5 days before making a decision. Come on, none of us do that. At some point in time, you ain't gonna wait. You ain't gonna wait till the last game of the season. You ain't gonna wait till the last game of the season. At some point in time, you gonna make the call, yo, this is where I'm at. Now, it's too early to do that. So that's fair, I understand that. And based on what I said, you're absolutely right. I'm telling you what I mean is,
Okay. Tell me what you
I'm assuming he's doing the same shit. Jokic is doing the same shit they both been doing. That's where I'm at. Now, if he falls off the map the last 20 games of the season, then I got to come back and go like this. Yeah, I got to change my damn mind. I know I said that shit, but this is where I'm at.
I'm waiting on that day then.
You watch boxing, right?
I love boxing.
Love boxing.
Yes, right.
Okay, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, me too.
You think he would ever lose going the distance on the scorecard as the actual champion? Even if it was a close fight.
Are you ready for my answer?
Who are they gonna give
Are
the
you ready
fight?
for my
You
answer?
gotta get knocked out.
It depends on who the fuck he's fighting.
If he's fighting Manny Pacquiao, he's fighting.
They would have let me tell you, if it were close and it was a decision, they'd have gave it to Manny.
If
it wasn't
Floyd
close.
is the champ,
I'm saying they would have gave it to Manny. It just wasn't close because Manny couldn't hit him.
do you have to beat the champ,
Yeah, because he waited 12 years.
or do they give you the? Do they ever just give you a?
You
point?
love boxing, right? So that means you know who Marvelous Marvin Hagler is, right?
Of course.
Well, how did he feel when he fought Sugar Ray?
Did he do a rematch?
Huh? No, they wouldn't get. He didn't want it because he felt he was appalled that he got robbed. He was appalled that he got robbed. He said, "I'm the champion. I'm chasing this motherfucker around, and y'all gonna just give it to him when he ran for 2.5 rounds, fought the last 30 seconds,
Now, is
and y'all
Joker
gonna give it to him."
running?
Huh?
Joker not running.
Joker not running. No.
Joker
I'm just
not
using
running.
boxing analogy. I'm just using boxing
saying,
analogy.
you gotta knock him out to win.
But
he's won this too many times. He's produced
Why did he
and
win?
shown his value as the most valuable
He
player
won because-
too many times. You were a newcomer. You're like Allen Iverson. You're like Kobe and his, like you like KG when he won his. It's like, you gotta do some shit. We like, yo, we gotta give it to him.
Okay.
We gotta give it to him.
What you about to say, fool?
why he win last year? Because he was close to getting the triple-double, right?
No, he was one because he was the best player in the fucking NBA.
And it was close to a triple-double.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
I'm just saying. Why he win? It was close to
Then I said
Close
this
on the
last,
cows and
I said
horseshoes
this
and
last
hand
year.
grenades.
I said,
We thought Shai should have been MVP last
And
year.
I
I
said we
said
did-
on this
they're
couch, we
voting
thought,
Shai.
but Nikola was the best player in the NBA last year.
I said, the fact that Nikola won last year, it left too much room for him to win it again. There's nothing Shai was going to do that's going to increase it because you already had somebody who averaged 33, 8, and 9, right? So what Shai's going to do versus what Jokic has the potential doing, he can put up his scoring. He's going to have 10 and 9. He can average a triple-double. Almost a triple-double won it. A triple-double wins it. He averages damn near 39 and 9, he wins it. Like there's too much room for improvement where they could have gave it to Shai to save himself. Now you're kind of be it'll look really horrible for the athlete side to have a dude win these MVP awards with worse records than he had. Right, worse numbers than he had. To see him pull a triple-double, he might fuck around, put a 50 ball out here with a triple-double, 10 and 12, and then you sit here like, all right, Shai, you got it, right? It just
doesn't make sense.
And that's the problem sometimes in the inconsistency, because as a player training and we're going into the season, we don't know what we're fighting for. Like, we don't know what we're doing this for.
Right.
Like Jason Tatum is really confused with y'all.
For sure.
He's like, I sacrifice individual awards.
Right.
I sacrifice scoring titles and all this
respectfully, you just made me laugh because you said y'all. No,
I'm just media.
You too.
You vote, though. You got to vote.
I don't vote.
We new media.
You got to vote.
I'm getting there.
You gotta vote.
I'm getting it right now.
We new media.
I'm getting it right now. It's y'all and shit. Let me tell you this. Listen, let me use the example. I'm not talking about the literal vote.
Give me a vote, please.
I'm not talking about the literal vote for a second. This show right here epitomizes the problem that the media has with voting.
Absolutely.
Because we'll go and we'll talk to y'all and got 4 or 5 different damn opinions. And then when we reach a conclusion, everybody bitching.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, where we get it from? I'm talking, like, I didn't play no game. I wasn't good enough to be on that level. Y'all was. I came to you, y'all sitting in the locker room together.
Yeah.
And then go like this. This brother, Swaggy P, like, yo, Stephen, it got to be Shai. Gil, it got to be Jokic. It got to be Jokic. Him, it got to be Shai. All of a sudden, we go out there. Motherfucker don't know what he talking about. Well, where we get it from? It ain't like we sat in a bubble, not talking to anybody. Nah. We walk, that's right. We walk in the locker room. We talk to the cats who do this. We reach out to Hall of Fame, because y'all know this. Cats that are veterans, cats that are retired. You won the championship and shit. You a Hall of Fame, all of this other stuff. You ain't sitting at home being silent. Who you think calls us? Who you think texting? Who you think yo, man, I gotta holler at you. What the hell was you, where you get that vote from? What was you thinking when you said that shit? And I'm like, no, this ain't us talking in a bubble. We talking to y'all. But then we can't, because obviously most of the conversations off the record. Don't quote me on this. That's what a lot of them say, don't quote me on this. It's just us talking. But I'm telling you, you don't know what the fuck you talk about. Why would you say that? Well, they don't know this Hall of Famer said that, and this one said this, and you taking all of these opinions into consideration while you're watching. So I laugh about it when you say the media, because if you really are media, your intel comes from those who know. Anybody that tells you that they just know this shit that didn't play on y'all level, fuck them, ignore them. Don't listen to them. Pay no attention to them. The number one thing that should come out of your mouth is, yo, I got this from somewhere, y'all. I talked to these cats. This is what they said. And they gave me this to consider. They told me to go back and watch that. That's what media is supposed to be, not the other shit that people be trying to put.
But here's the thing, though. Swaggy, you do not have an MVP vote. Cemetery Larry, you don't have an MVP vote. Right. Kenya, you don't have an MVP vote. Gil, you do not have an MVP vote, but you have the ability and the power to sway MVP vote with your vote.
Sure.
But my question for you is, as an MVP voter, how do you feel about potentially being responsible for players making or losing millions of dollars? All NBA, MVP.
I hate it. I think there is no way something like that should mess with a cat's money. Let me tell you something right now. Klay Thompson has a legitimate case to hate media for the rest of his life. They cost him $30 million. Yeah. I wasn't one of them, because I had him third team All-NBA. And I could have put Kemba Walker in that year because he had dropped like 30, 28, 29 a game for Charlotte. I refused. Not just because it was comparable, but I knew that wasn't going to cost Kemba money. You're going to cost Klay Thompson $30 million? $30 million. He's a champion. I think at the time it was 3 chips. Mm-hmm. He had 3 chips. He's one of the Splash Brothers, universally recognized one of the greatest shooters ever in the history of the game. First 7 or 8 years, shoot better than 40% from three-point range with Steph Curry as his superstar teammate. And you're going to cost this brother $30 million. Now, knowing you going in to vote and knowing your vote going to cost him $30 million, there's nothing inside of you that said, yo, man, I got to help this brother get that $30 million because he deserves it.
Yeah.
It ain't like he didn't earn it. Yeah. He deserved it. If that man hates the media for the rest of his life, if I was Klay Thompson, you know what I would do? Any media member that wanted to talk to me, I would be like, you had that vote that year? Who'd you vote for? That's what I would do. I said, I want to know who cost me that damn money. That would be me. Because that shit was unforgivable. Yeah. I will openly confess that. We should not be messing with cats' money like that. We shouldn't have any say in that. I don't know how that happened. honestly, but there's no reason, there's no excuse for it.
They
None.
don't want to have the response. They put the onus on y'all.
Yeah.
But okay,
Shit,
so-
hey,
and I blame them for that.
It ain't me. Hey, listen, it ain't me. It's them.
Should it just stick to shoe contracts and bonuses versus actual contract money on first team, second team, third team? Because that is a problem where you're sitting there. I might have a great relationship with you. He got the numbers, and I'm sitting here like, yeah, he ain't give me an interview last week. Fuck him.
Right.
And then, you know what I mean? Because we know that's his
Or he didn't answer my question the way I wanted him to answer the motherfucker.
And we know that.
Damn,
we know how
anything
that is.
like just hold on to that shit.
So,
forever.
so should that be taken out of part of
Come on now.
getting extra money?
You can make an argument for that because if you can point to it costing cats money, then I say you do something about that. If it warrants that extreme measure, you do it because what you do on the court is what you do on the court. Now everybody can't make it. Everybody can't make first, second, third team. I understand that, but I know this much: I should have no say in costing the cat money.
Yeah.
I should have no say in that. That's wrong. And I've always been adamantly opposed to that.
Yeah, I don't like the Supermax.
Yeah.
Right? Here's why. Let's say I'm LaMelo Ball. I don't make no All-Star, I don't make All-NBA team because of how you vote.
Right.
I'm a Supermax to this fucking city.
Yeah.
I'm not a regular max. I am a Supermax player to my city and to the league itself. But there's only 15 names you can pick.
Okay.
Right? And some of those guys is getting it because the team wins. So as a player who's averaging 29, 8, and 5, and y'all don't give it to me, I am pissed off.
Well, I don't know anybody that's averaging 29 and ain't making a first, second, or third team. That's number one.
But if they won 15 games?
Yeah, that's
Remember Tracy McGrady in Orlando?
And just so y'all know, just from my perspective, I don't want to interrupt you, but just from my perspective, let me say this. There's a star, when you start talking about superstars, right? Understand this is where I'm coming from. This is me. There's a difference between a superstar player and a superstar. See, when you want certain kind of money, I want you to be box office. Because that's generating revenue for me. You understand what I'm saying? Now there's a number that you should be paid based on your ability, your achievements, your level of production. And then there's that other level where, wait a minute now, that brother contributes to the bottom line. Like when Kobe or LeBron or an MJ or various others throughout history, Tim Duncan was a superstar player. You didn't walk through the turnstiles to see Tim Duncan. You knew he was great. You knew he was going to win, but you didn't walk through the turnstiles to see him. You walked through the turnstiles to see Shaq Diesel. You walked through the turnstiles to see a Jason Kidd. You walked through the turnstiles to see the Kobes, the LeBrons, the MJs, cats like that. You didn't walk through the turnstiles to see a Scottie Pippen. Talent-wise, give him the max. But when you start talking superstar, now it's like, wait a minute, are you box office? I think there has to be a category for that too.
But does that have to do with winning?
Security.
Right? So like Ja Morant,
Right.
right? He's box office.
Okay.
Right? There's certain people that's box office,
Right.
but you know, the winning and all that stuff.
You got the mask on.
Well, I only brought it up because you brought up how you were talking about Supermax cats and I'm a Supermax in this city. Yeah. Well, if you're a Supermax in this city, then I should be making revenue because of you. I'm not talking about
them number with them goddamn jerseys. Listen, Melo Ball.
Hey, Ja Morant's making that. You gonna make money in that city?
But I don't know about that.
No, but what I'm saying, if it's split.
Are they mad at me too about that? But
No, but what I'm saying is.
That city don't know about that. But
no, what I'm saying is JJJ, right? He gets the defensive team or he makes All NBA.
Yeah, we know what that is.
He's Supermax, right?
Defensive player of the year would have got
But the Supermax is Ja Morant. He is the superstar of the team.
Yes.
But the third option might be Supermax on the contract.
Yeah, he is too.
Cemetery Larry, go ahead.
Fortunately for him.
Oh, no, I mean, under the new rules.
But fortunately for him.
Cemetery Larry, saw you raising your hand.
Well, let's go back to the vote, right?
Okay.
How often is a member of the media manipulated into changing their vote by said reasons? Is there manipulation attached to being a voter?
I need specific with that question.
Intimidation.
Nah, I can't imagine that.
Can't imagine that.
I can't imagine intimidation. You intimidated into vote for one person over the other?
Or, I run up on you and I tell you, a certain thing or two, and I say, man, I would have considered voting for you for MVP, but now I don't really like you like that. I feel like you crossed the line. Is there a biased judgment when it comes down to media and player? When you talk about Charles Barkley, he has a vote. Him and Kevin Durant don't really get along, do they? He didn't get along with a lot of players. Does that relationship matter?
With some, you're probably right. With me, it doesn't. I don't give a shit whether I like you or not. Your level of production speaks for itself. I'm not going to shred my credibility by letting my personal feelings about you interfere with my judgment about what everyone sees you do. And there's no excuse for it. As far as I'm concerned, a journalist that does that shouldn't be allowed to vote. A matter of fact, I'd make the argument they should be fired.
So how do we separate the player-media dynamic when it comes to personal and, let's just say, business?
It's hard.
How do we not cross those lines?
There's lines that shouldn't be crossed, and the media's got to call the media to the carpet for doing shit like that. It can't just be y'all as players. We got to be able to do that too.
So therefore, we think whoever vote, that shit should just be, put it all out there, right? Whoever voted for who, everybody got to vote. We all should know it, right?
I totally agree with that.
Right?
I can't stand
anonymous
confidential
shit, confidential vote, like all that.
Nah, I totally agree with that.
But everybody that got to vote, we need like every single.
I have no problem.
For whatever it is, put it out there, right?
I have no problem with that. And I prove it
because they know how much money a motherfucker make every game, right?
I prove it because any vote that I make, I put on national television.
Yeah, you always say.
I always say this is who I voted for.
I did.
Here's why.
Do you think that MVP candidates deserve criticism?